38 of Adventurers Wanted! Yay! Welcome, I am Chris, I will be your DM for the next hour and the 2 hours after that if you fancy continuing to join us for the rest of the day. So, what is happening? We are playing Dungeons and Dragons, and we are playing an ongoing narrative, so you are literally jumping in a third of the way through the story-ish. Don't worry, we'll catch you up, but if at any point you want to ask questions and say what's going on, please do. We have a relaxed attitude to sound and movement in the audience. That's also for the benefit of anyone who would struggle to be still or silent for an hour. That also means the lights will stay exactly the same. There will be no loud, sudden noises, but there will be some background music. If you need to take a break at any point during the show, you can pop out of either of those two doors. There's a nice foyer space, and sweet staff members will be there to help you. If you want to come back in, you may need to get one of them to use their key fob to swipe you in, but you are more than welcome to pop in and out during the hour. That is absolutely fine. And if you need help during the show in the room, our stage manager Nemo back there, say hi Nemo, there we go. They are available to help you at any point. Just give them a wave or catch their eye and they will assist you in any way you are needed. So, what's happening? We are playing Dungeons and Dragons. For those who don't know what that means we are playing a tabletop role-playing game. The four people to my left and right play characters in a shared universe, and I play the shared universe. And I will be playing absolutely everything they encounter, deal with, do, and otherwise have to accomplish in the next hour. We tell this story together collaboratively and use D&D rules to add some sense of fairness to proceedings. To add a sense of randomness, we use dice, like these ones. They're 20-sided. That means that a 1 is particularly good, a 20... Nope, sorry. A 1 is particularly bad. A 1 is bad. A 1 is particularly bad. A 20 is particularly good. So if someone rolls a 1 or a 20, feel free to boo or cheer, depending on how you feel about that character and the situation. It's perfectly fine. So... before I dive too deeply into the story, I think we should go around the table and introduce ourselves. My name is Chris. I use he, him pronouns. Can you all please introduce yourselves, your pronouns, your character, their pronouns, and a bit about who they are and what they do, starting on my right.
Hi, I am Catherine, and I am playing Dottie Hearthfire, a lovely little dragonborn druid who...
You're not little, Ben.
I think I'm elegant and dainty.
You are 7 foot tall. You are not little.
And I run a lovely little tavern in the town where I look after all the orphans and I make my own home baking. And I also like embroidery. And I've also recently set up apparently a lovely, little tea shop. Mm-hmm. And a postal service. So
your empire grows daily.
So people can send each other lovely postcards.
And pronouns, please.
Oh, she, her.
Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Jamie, and I'll be playing Barksby, the mad furbog druid, who I spent the last hour monkeying around.
He was a monkey. That genuinely happened, yes.
Yeah. And he is a he and a him.
Thank you very much. And do describe what a furbolg is as well, for people who don't know.
I am a bovine humanoid that stands 8. He's 7'8".
7'8", and you're about 7 foot, aren't you, Dottie? So very tall, dragon-like and cow-like creatures on my right.
What a lovely young man.
I'm not that young.
Bex, keep us going.
Hi, my name's Bex. I am playing Thatchy Moon, an orc ranger. I've been dealing with a lot over the last few days. There's been a lot of awe to be dealing with, and I'm just getting involved in that.
Hi, I'm Callum.
Callum, what pronouns does Thatchy use?
Oh, sorry, Thatchy uses they, them pronouns.
Thank you very much. No worries, Callum.
I didn't
Fire away.
interrupt at all.
Not at all. Fire away.
Hi, I'm Callum. I am a he, him. I'm going to be playing Jin Seng, the halfling barbarian. So all of that talk of being little over there, and I'm just going... Oh, okay, so that makes me what? Like tiny? Hi everyone, how's it going? Jin is also a he, him.
Thank you very much. Lovely. Lovely stuff indeed. So, the story to date. The characters on my left and right are part of a rebellion against a cult that took over the lands they lived in about 5 years ago when their elder god appeared, rampaged through the lands, then disappeared. The cult have been rather complacent, and this rebellion has sprung up around them and has managed to free the town they're from, Holmwood, and the capital, Goldcrest. We are now back in Holmwood after the realization that the ore the cult was making all of their slaves mine out of the ground may have some rather terrifying properties, including blowing up and perverting things around it. It's not an allegory for anything real world at all. And the they have walked their way into the town hall where Alf, one of the sorcerers that they work with, has been experimenting with the ore, and they've discovered that he has been strapping it to the bodies of humanoids and making them horrible, deformed monsters, one of which they are currently fighting. So we will dive straight back into that moment. Can we start by Jin Seng making an initiative roll so I know when he acts during this combat round?
Ooh. 15
Plus 2.
17.
17, brilliant. Thank you, Jin Seng. You go first. So, realizing that there was something of a scuffle happening in the town hall, you, the halfling barbarian, what do you do as part of this rebellion?
I've not really been paying any attention to it going on.
Right. Okay.
Excellent.
I just want to get on, kill a few things here and there.
That has been happening, yeah.
There's been a lot of killing, it's been good for me. The rebellion, I decide, not that bothered, don't really have any form of alliance. If there's killing, I want to do it.
You are sat round the back of the town hall in the streets, just having a little moment to yourself when you see an elf rogue run past you, someone you've not met before, and unlocks the back door of the town hall, looks inside, says, "Meep," and runs off. That was a player from the last hour, I'm just making that clear. Would you like to go in and see what's going on?
Absolutely, let's
go. You run to the door, peer inside, and this deformed, horrific humanoid with leather straps all over it, you can barely see it, but the light from the door that has been opened is shining across it. It is currently in combat with your Dottie, who runs the local tavern, who you have met before, this large dragonborn woman, and next to her is a monkey. And that monkey just got punched in the face by this thing and bitten and thrown to one side against a wall. You also note that around this whole room there is a lot of this ore people have been talking about, and it is fizzing ever so slightly. What would you like to do?
Monkey's about a little bit shorter than I am, right?
I'd say the monkey's a bit bigger than you, halfling.
That is as close to a kin as I have at the moment. Leave the monkey alone! And I'm going to go straight for the...
And smack it. What is your weapon of choice?
I have a battle axe, which I'm just going to two-handed...
Let's be clear, because you're a halfling and you're about, 3 foot tall? This battle axe is probably about the same size as you.
Yeah.
Yeah. But your thick, muscly arms, thick with 2 C's. Pull this gigantic battle axe. It's almost wider than you as you charge, and with a very lumberous swing towards it. Make an attack roll. Ooh.
16.
That absolutely hits. Please roll the damage so I can describe how it impacts this creature.
Oh, it's all going so well.
Oh, that's the wrong dice.
Oh, fantastic. That's
you are also a barbarian, are you not?
I am a barbarian, yes.
You can bonus action rage if you want to.
Ooh.
Because you wanted to help your kin.
Oh no, you were right. I do apologise. Yeah.
So your bonus action raging. So that means you get to add +2 to that damage roll, I believe.
2, so 4.
He's already here.
So 4 damage.
Yes.
Do I add anything else?
Yeah.
+3, so 5 damage.
5 damage. 7.
Hang on. 7.
7 damage.
Why did I go on a show that involved maths?
For 7 damage, you run forward and you cut this thing in the leg, because that's about the right height for you. And you manage to just cleave into its leg. This ore that has been strapped to it by leather straps is slowly crumbling off as you chip through it and impact the flesh beneath. As you impact the flesh beneath, you note that it is still bleeding. This creature is still alive in here.
As a barbarian, do I get an extra attack?
You do.
Yes. Can I do that?
Yes.
Sweet.
Please do roll the attack roll twice and take the higher number.
18.
18. And again, this cross swing, you've hit it in the leg. You can very easily bring your axe around and back swing again across its thigh, I suppose.
That's fine.
9.
9 points of damage. You are slashing through this thing, breaking it down, and it is reeling back. Not so much in pain as in surprise. You get the sense this thing doesn't really experience pain the way you do. What you hear, the voice from inside, is a very horrible save. Lovely. Tachi, you have a vantage point. You are standing on scaffolding on the outside with a hole in the roof looking in at this entire situation. What would you like to do?
And I can't hear it saying, like, save me or anything.
Yeah, you can.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm still going to shoot it. Yep, another 2 arrows.
Mm-hmm.
That is 17 on the dice plus 6, so 23.
Well, that hits, yes.
33, yep. And the second arrow is maybe not 14?
That hits 2.
Oh, great.
You pull out 2 arrows and very quickly pull them both back, fire them both off.
That is 11 points of damage.
11 points damage. Both arrows sink into this creature. It is starting to look like it has taken quite a bit of damage. It is kneeling before the monkey, the dragonborn, and the halfling. It's now at your head height. Yes! As you slowly start to chip away at this creature. However, from behind it, through the doorway it stepped through, another one of these creatures is moving into the room, stumbling slightly. This one appears to have had ore mostly attached to its arms. Its legs appear to be a bit more movable, but its arms have thrust forward and almost down on the ground like that of the gorilla. So, that creature is also entering the fray. Barksby. Monkey form Barksby. What are you up to?
I'm going to get on its back again and start tearing at the straps.
The one that's already down on the ground.
Yeah.
Excellent. Make 2 attack rolls, please, in your monkey form. Add 5 to that. Yes.
Yes. I don't want to hurt it, I just want to take off the straps that are holding it.
That's absolutely fine. No problem at all.
17 plus 5, 22.
One more.
Same.
Cool. You leap onto its back and start tearing at these leather straps held together. They are welded together. There is some metal involved in this. But as you tear away, you are pulling this off. And the back that you're seeing exposed is pocked and scarred and bleeding. This rock has clearly started to embed itself into the creature and become part of it. It is clearly not a positive experience. Would not recommend.
Please don't.
So you're aware of that. You've done no damage to it, but you are slowly removing all of this ore and strapping from this creature as you do so. Dottie, you're standing in front of it, your rolling pin in hand, slightly broken now because you cracked it against it and damaged it.
Oh no.
What would you
my
like?
grandmother's.
Well, I'm afraid you can still have your grandmother's.
Handed down the matrilineal line for generations.
There are
Some
such
say
things
it
as
was-
mending spells, so you'll be fine.
Some say it was the secret to our good bread. It always tasted like home.
Do you want me to make your bread canonically taste worse from now on? Because of your loss of the roll? It's your choice. I'm game.
No.
Okay, right. What would you like to do? This creature is kneeling before you, but there is one behind also stumbling into the room, looking like it wants to do you some harm.
Can I touch the one that's in front of me?
Yes?
Can I do beast bond?
Okay, it's not a beast.
Oh no.
So I'll let you revise that decision because that would
there
be
goes
cruel.
my only plan. For I am but a humble dragon with only a rolling pin to my mane.
And you can breathe
And a
lightning.
tavern and a
I
breathe-
can
and
breathe
and
lightning,
a
but we
postal
are in a room full of explosive ore.
Correct you
So
are.
I fear that would be very dangerous.
Also true.
I see nothing wrong with that plan.
Yesterday someone literally vaporized themselves, so I don't know, man. Like, the scales.
It'll be fine.
I honestly can't think of anything I could do. That
You
would...
could join in what Barksby is doing in trying to remove the straps and the ore from the
I'll
body.
do that then.
Cool. Make me just a single attack roll, please.
That would be a 16.
You are very strong, you are very big. You reach down and you start tearing this stuff off, and you are revealing underneath basically the frail body of a human who has been horrifically mutilated by this.
This is pretty awful.
I mean, I never do rocks fall, but no, you're fine. You manage to pull this all off, and you're seeing the remnants of this creature in front of you, and it's a rather difficult sight to behold. However,
Awful.
it is awful. Yes.
That's just click. Sorry. I thought you said awful, not awful.
However, the creature that came out of the room is going to charge towards you, being the largest creature in the room, and is going to leap on you and bowl you back away from
Oh.
what it thinks is its ally.
I'm trying to help here.
Yeah, but it doesn't understand that.
Listen.
Right, it's 5 attacks, and it's a +6 to hit.
Oh gosh.
What is your AC?
It's non-existent apparently.
Well, it's a +1. You're wearing some armor, presumably, so let's say it's 13.
Let's say 13.
1 hit, 2 hits.
Oh gosh.
3 hits.
Oh no.
Oh, crap.
1, 7, 11, 17.
Oh my god.
You take 25 points of damage as this creature
Listen.
bowls into you and just starts flailing away with these ore-infused fists straight into you. Make a con saving throw, please.
Oh god. I was having a little quiet night in, you know. 12.
12. As this creature is pounding into you, you can see the ore on its hands. It's not glowing as when the ore is activated, i.e. primed and ready to explode. It has this strange fizzing effect we've been talking about. And this fizzing is also happening on the walls around where these creatures are. It appears to follow them as well. This fizzing, as it comes close to you, you can feel it almost like sparks coming off, sort of infusing itself into your skin. Nothing happens for the time being,
Oh,
but
no, I am
it
very
doesn't
near-
feel good.
I am very near to death.
Yes, you are. Yes,
Near to
you
death, you
are.
say?
Take me back to my grandmother to bake the bread one last time in the afterlife.
I'm confused about how your afterlife functions, but okay. Ginseng,
Hello.
what's up?
Oh, well, if it's at head height, I'm
Yep.
going to try and cleave its head into.
Is this the one that has had most of the ore pulled off it?
Yes.
Lovely. Make an attack roll.
Ooh, 24.
24, that hits. Roll the damage, please.
Yep.
Plus
5. Yep.
8.
8.
Damage.
Excellent, you get a second attack.
19.
19, that also hits.
6.
6 damage. You hit this creature twice around the head. You don't manage to cut its head off because it still has some of this strapping and ore on it, but you realise that you are cutting through its neck and have sort of cut into there, and it is bleeding profusely everywhere because it is still a human. So you are slowly getting rid of this one, but it is not down yet. Thatcher, you see the creature is on its last legs in the middle of the room, but there is another one currently doing some rather awful things to Dottie. So.
I'm going to take my first attack at the one that's nearly dead.
Okay.
Hopefully I can...
Help me.
No, not right now.
What was that? 14.
14 points of...
No,
14
hits.
14 hits, absolutely.
And
Give me the
then
damage.
That is 11 points of damage.
11 points of damage. Cool. You hit it with the arrow, and you get the sense as you hit it that it might be able to go on, even if you do manage to remove all its hit points, because it is somewhat undead. But it doesn't roll badly, so it collapses in front of you with a gurgled "Thank you." Hits the ground, very much dead. However, there is another one currently trying to brutalize Dottie, as previously established. What would you like to do?
I'd like to try and... Can I... Is it the back of the creature that I can
Yes.
see? Right. I'd like to try and make a lot of noise and kind of try and distract it and kind of look like really tasty and really like he should go for me instead while I'm up in the rafters. So I'm like...
You could jump down.
Ooh, I could, but I do not want to. I'm going to do it from the rafters. Yeah, I will do it from the rafters.
Well, it'll be a charisma-based check, but which one will it be? Performance, I think.
Performance? Oh,
Yes.
great, I have +0 to that. That's a 13.
As you describe your performance.
I think that she will do a little whistle, which I can't do, so otherwise I would do it.
One of
Yeah, perfect. And then, here, I am here, and just do a little dance, like.
It is entranced!
And then shoot an arrow at it.
Maybe attack roll, go for it.
That is 17.
That hits, roll the damage.
Great. Another 8. Great, thanks. Oh, it's not too bad. 9 points of damage.
9 points of damage. As the arrow impacts in its shoulder, it looks up at you, snarls, and starts pounding towards where you are.
Great.
It will, on its turn, use an action to make it move very fast and climb very well.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Oh, it'll be fine.
Buckby.
Run away.
Well, realising that the monkey is not working very well, I will drop the monkey form.
Yep.
And I will focus on it
Yes.
and cast Hold Person on it.
Hold person. Lovely. It's a wisdom saving throw from me. Nope. As it's running, as it sees and starts moving away from Dottie and towards Thatchy up in the rafters.
Would Dottie get an attack of opportunity as it ran away?
Well, it hasn't actually had that turn yet. I was
Okay.
just doing that for flavour. As it moves away from Dottie to move forward, suddenly
Worth a try.
Paralyzed and slumps forward on the ground. At this point, combat is still happening, and technically it gets to roll against that for about a minute, isn't that right?
Yes.
Yep. So I'm going to keep rolling for that while you guys decide what to do, but you're out of initiative order. What do you want to do?
Kill it.
You want to kill it? What do you want to do? That's you're on the roof.
Listen, there's a human in there. He's a bit peaky. We should maybe not kill him.
The last one said thank you when we killed him.
Pretty sure they want
Oh,
to
it's
die.
not paralyzed anymore. Back in initiative order.
All right.
It is up again. Dottie, you now get your attack of opportunity on it.
Can I try and take off the...
You can grab for the straps on the arms. Absolutely.
Yes, I would love to do that.
Make an attack
That
roll.
would make me very happy. 4.
You try and grab for it as it runs, but you miss as it runs straight past you. It is incredibly aggressive, and as it bounds forward, it starts climbing up at an incredible rate. And as it climbs up towards you, Thatchy, what would you like to do? Otherwise, it's going to be on you.
I'm going to bring out my short swords, and as
Yep.
soon as it's within range, I want to do and try and cut at it.
Great. Make 2 attack rolls with your short swords.
18 plus
hits,
6,
yes.
yeah, and then another 18 plus
That also
6, so
hits.
that's great.
As it comes up towards you, its arms raised above its head, very gorilla fashion. You slash out with your swords towards its chest. What damage do you do?
16 points of damage.
16 points of damage. You slash at its chest, and it manages to grab hold of the rafters near you, but you have cut it across its midriff, and it is looking very perturbed. However, it has 4 limbs, and is quite gorilla-like, as established earlier, and with both of its legs, it reaches up and tries to grab and punch at you, trying to pull you out of the rafters.
Oh dear.
Oh dear, and
I
those are
didn't-
very good rolls. You are hit twice by that. Can you please make a dexterity saving throw?
I can certainly try.
Thank you.
Ooh, 13.
13. You are grabbed by it and you are torn by its very, very sharp toenails and feet. You take 13 points of damage from that, and it also tries to pull you out from the roof area. You manage to have one arm still hanging onto the rafters, but you are currently one arm on the rafters, its feet grabbed around your side while it swings off the roof. You're in a precarious position. Ginseng, what would you like to do?
How far away is it from me?
Up, about there, 30 feet up. You're a bit back, so quick angle calculation, 40 odd feet.
I will throw a javelin at it.
Excellent. Make an attack roll.
That is not very good. 10.
Roll the damage on it anyway.
Oh no.
What is the...
It's on
yeah,
that.
one.
You don't add your rage bonus to it because the rage doesn't happen at range. 5 points of damage, thank you. The 5 points of damage, I'm afraid, are taken
that's
by
fine,
Thatchy
I-
as a javelin suddenly pierces through your
I
leg.
had my suspicions.
Yeah, I'm afraid
What's
so.
going on?
And you scream out in agony. Barksby, what would you like to
sorry.
No, no, stop. And I'll cast Charm Person on it.
do? Charm person.
Yes.
You want to cast Charm person on it?
Well, it is still a person.
Correct.
Old person word.
Everyone's equal in our society. we fought for equality.
What do you say?
Say, no, we're not here to hurt you. Come down and we'll get these things off your arms.
It growls horribly and bats away, having passed the saving throw, so that's not happened, I'm afraid. Sorry about that.
God
Dottie,
darn it.
you do note that some of the ore around you is now doing the ore glowing activated thing as well, so be cautious.
Gosh,
Ugh.
did I see that?
Yeah.
Okay, because I was going to cast Gust.
Gush.
My
Gust.
accent is
Not heard of that
terrible.
spell.
Gust!
I was going to cast Gust.
Thank you.
Oh, crikey.
We are such children. Go on.
To try and push it away, but I don't know if that's a good idea.
What's the range on it?
Of Gush.
Gust!
One medium, a smaller. It's not smaller than me, is it?
No.
No, okay.
About the same size as you.
There goes that little dream. I guess I'm just gonna try and get off these straps.
It's 30 feet above you.
I guess I'm just gonna watch. Can I try and...
Dottie.
Can I eat
Dottie.
a snack to try and
Dottie,
recover my energy?
You're a dragon and you can breathe lightning.
But that's a terrible idea with
It's
ore.
up in the roof and there's no ore in the roof.
Fine,
I am in the roof.
lightning.
But there's ore on its arms.
That is true.
See, that's why I thought this was a terrible idea.
Then you don't have to if you don't want to. It's entirely up to you. I'm trying to give you things to do.
No such thing as a terrible idea, just a terrible way of doing things.
No, there is a terrible idea. No, there's terrible ideas. Yeah,
What would you like to do? Glory is fleeting as is time.
Can I eat some shortbread?
Yes, you can eat some shortbread.
To recover my strength.
Of course, I will allow you to eat some shortbread.
Does it make me feel better?
Yeah, it does. No hit point thing, but yeah. Just shortbread.
Listen, just want to feel.
Good, right. The creature is going to try, instead of attacking you, is going to try and use its weight to swing you off so that it is literally the only thing holding you up from the ground. It's going to make an athletics check to do so. It rolled a 9. Can you please roll a acrobatics check to counter it? Or athletics, up to you.
Ooh, non-natural 20.
It tries to pull you out of the way, but as it tries to do so, you fend off and hold on with your great orcish strength. You are still holding on. It is therefore realizing that's not going to work. It is going to try and hit you instead.
Great. Thrilled.
What is your AC?
14.
Cool. It flaps against you, flails against you twice and misses, but once manages to hit you quite hard round the chops for another 7 points of damage. But it is otherwise not moved, and you have not moved. The situation is still the same. What would you like to do, Thatchy?
I would like to try and use the momentum to push it off of where it's standing and try and use it as like a blanket and fall to the floor and make it take damage from falling and land on top of it. If I can.
I think you can try.
Yeah.
What are you rolling?
I don't know. I just assume I'd need to.
Technically, this would be called a shove, so roll athletics check, please.
Okay. 11.
That's all right. It rolled worse.
Yay!
You push out with your strength, kicking off from the hole in the wall. I was going to say windowsill, but it's not really a window. You manage to kick off, and as you kick off, you yank at it, and it loses its grip and starts falling. Make a dexterity saving throw to make sure that the fall damage is taken by it, not by you.
Okay. Please roll well. Ugh, 10. Not great.
It rolled a 6. Crunch. You land straight down on the ground. It takes quite a lot of damage.
That was a better idea than I thought it was.
You land cracking on top of it. I'm going to make you take 5 points of damage because you still fell 30 feet.
Yeah, no,
but
that's
you
fine.
have landed on top of it, and it is now chest very visibly damaged, breathing. And you can tell underneath it's just a humanoid chest. It looks like this is just a normal person, horribly deformed by magic and terrible people. Insane, what do you want to do?
Kill it.
Right. You run up, its head is right there.
17.
Yeah, that hits.
Sweet.
Don't forget, you roll, when you're raging, you roll attacks twice. So.
I want to see if it's...
Oh, take
No.
17.
17, please.
Yep.
I want to give it a lovely cup of tea. I think that would solve everything.
13 DiMaggios.
And again.
17.
Cool, roll the damage again.
7 DiMaggios.
Oh, good. Your axe cleaves straight into its head. Yes. You go straight in, deep. You impact deep. However, as you pull your axe out, even with its completely destroyed head, it is still moving. Oh. It looks like it can still survive this.
You make no sense.
The headless beast squirms underneath you, Thatchy. Buxby, what would you like to do?
It's headless now.
It is headless now.
Oh, shit.
I mean, it has bits of head attached to it, but I don't want to be too graphic for 11:30 audience.
Leave that.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and charm it again.
It doesn't have a head, man.
Oh, good point.
Charm the head.
Is that prerequisite?
In which
Charm?
case I will ask it to make a will save and hold person up.
Okay. It does. That's a 13, 14.
14's the 8.
14's the AC. All right, I'll just check.
DC.
No, it's frozen, locked in place.
Yes.
You've managed to hold this creature, and again, we'll pop out of initiative so you guys can take actions while it rolls against. It doesn't. It looks like it has almost no hit points. Health. It looks like it's not very healthy. There we go. It looks like it's basically being held together by magic at this point. What would you like to do? It is frozen in place.
Stab
Why
it.
isn't it dying?
I'm just going to stab it again.
Straps.
I've already stabbed it.
Okay. Stab down twice.
I've
Roll
got
the
to
damage
attach
on
his
that.
lead.
Oh, I'm assuming it just hits
Well,
then.
Yeah, it's prone underneath you. Just roll the
That
damage
one.
on it.
I was going to give it a stun.
5,
Do the whole thing.
9 points of damage.
Yeah, at that it stops. I mean, it was already
Where's
frozen
the
in
elf?
place, but you get the sense as you stab down on it twice that it is no longer moving because it is dead, not just because it is paralyzed.
Great.
You know the whole person spell fades as it goes.
Shall we have a tasteful funeral for both of them?
Well, as you
Nothing too fancy, just a simple wake and maybe some flowers.
as the situation starts to calm down a little, you realise that the creatures in front of you are people from around town that have been experimented on, and that is evident from the information in front of you. You are inside the town hall. It is quiet once again. The fizzing of the ore around you has ceased.
Did I know these people?
Yeah.
Oh. They weren't my orphans, were they?
No, these appear to be adults. People.
Phew, just random adults.
That's so much better than random children.
Yeah.
What were their names and full backstories?
One was called Rowena. She used to work in the town library. And one was called Jeffrey, and he used to have a job tilling the fields outside.
No!
Oh, he was my friend then.
Jeffrey.
Helping the plot.
I would like to read a simple poem in honour of their memory.
Please do.
Oh, crap.
While she's doing that, can I cast Primeval Awareness and see if there's any more creatures around us?
Please do.
Great. I don't know what I need to do that.
You sit and meditate for a minute.
Great. I will sit and meditate for a minute, and I want to
Excellent.
focus on undead.
Okay.
I'm going to go through their belonging, or do they have any form of clothing? Or
They were
just-
wearing shifts and generic, very basic underwear clothing from the time period, so they are not...
I am not going rummaging through those then.
Yeah.
Well, as you do investigate their bodies, roll an investigation check for me.
11.
11. The ore that they had strapped to them has somewhat either sunken into their flesh, in some cases flesh has even started to grow over bits of it. Also, you note that the flesh around the ore is pocked and scarred. This has not been a positive experience.
No. Gross. Probably don't touch that, just in case.
They did come through a door, didn't they?
Yeah.
What is through that door?
Stairs going up to the second floor.
Off
We're
we go.
going to have words with Elf. Head up the stairs.
You two heading up?
I mean, you could wait to see if there's any more zombies before you go.
That would be the sensible thing to do, so I'm going upstairs.
That's fair enough. That is completely fair. Yeah, no worries.
Actually, can I first disguise myself
Of course.
as...
Before you go, do you have any herbs on you?
These were for... See your accent. So. These were for Mary, but Mary doesn't need them anymore. Here you go.
I would like to tie them together in a tasteful bouquet and lay them upon the dead bodies and say, goodbye, friends. You will be missed.
Wholesome.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
That's A-okay.
And when I say shed a single tear.
That's a bit far now.
I'm a sensitive soul.
Fine by me.
Can I also, not to be rude, but before we continue, can somebody please heal me? I
Oh,
am
yeah.
very nearly dead.
I'll help you with that.
I am also bleeding profusely.
They all laughed when I turned into a monkey. I'll use some of my level 3 spots to heal people.
Thank you very, very much.
Can you not heal?
No.
No, I have a range of spells which have not been useful to date. Oh, I could actually, if I cast Goodberry.
You could, yeah.
Oh, I have Cure Wounds.
Oh my god.
Which I have hitherto not
I'm really
noticed.
glad you spent that turn eating some shortbread.
I'll use...
Can I Cure Wounds on myself?
Yes!
How much does that do?
It's 1d8 plus your spellcasting modifier.
What is my spell cast?
That's
It's your wisdom skill
Oh, cracky.
modifier.
That's +6.
No, it isn't. That's your saving throw.
That's
Plus
this
3.
one.
I get 8 back.
There you go.
I'm now only on 32 damage.
Barksby will cast cure wounds on the new orc friend
Lovely.
at 3rd level.
Lovely.
Ooh, it's good.
Yay! Thank you.
16, 19 points back.
What?
Ow.
You can cast at higher levels as well, you know. Get an extra D8.
Kath, you play this game a lot. You know this.
I've literally never used cure wounds.
Speaks
I've
a lot
always-
about your play style, Kath. That's what that does.
I've never had a magic character before.
Fascinating. Well, there we go. You finish your primeval awareness. You get the faint whiff of undead throughout this entire building, but no specific marks or points.
Okay, so just
It's more of a general feel that this is unhallowed
General
ground. General
this
feel.
is unhallowed ground.
You can head upstairs if you so choose.
I'm already there.
Oh yeah, you've got.
Just saying, you ignored everyone and went straight
Yeah,
upstairs. That's great.
absolutely.
Can you make a perception check for me, please?
13.
13.
Yes.
As you head up the stairs, it's a big, wide, sweeping staircase that goes into 2 versions around the side of this room and then back up to a space above the hall. As you go up and make your way around and into the space above the hall, which is a corridor with a series of offices off it, you note a number of things. Number 1, this whole area is dark. Number 2, this whole area is abandoned. There are bodies as you look in the offices. Again, various creatures like the ones you fought downstairs that appear to have had or forcibly shoved into an eye socket, tied to themselves. Some look like it may even have been ingested. There is a certain amount of experimentation on humans going on here. Not just humans, humanoids. A couple of elves.
Every time I walk past a body, I'm just going to give it a little kick, just to make sure it's dead. Or
These-
as dead as these things can be.
These appear to be, unlike the ones you saw downstairs, these appear to be long dead, at least a day or 2.
Okay.
And they're all people from around town that you may have known.
They died, not my fault.
Ginseng don't give 2 fucks. Right, good. As you look around these various rooms, you do find also various versions of these Gru that you have seen as part of the various battles you have fought. Long, black, bristly hair growing out, very sharp, and it looks like the bones have twisted and deformed. You start to realize that quite a few of the humanoids would probably have continued in this process to become Gru in the long run, were this all left attached to them, or however it was imbibed or inserted.
Is that new knowledge?
Yes.
To me? Ooh.
Oh dear.
I'm going to shout downstairs, come up here! I don't really know what's going on.
There goes my plan to stealth.
The 3 of you can join if you so choose.
I will stealth.
Roll that stealth check.
I would also like to stealth.
There is still Pass Without a Trace on, so... it's for
Yeah,
an
you were
hour.
never hit. Oh no, you were hit once. Yeah, it's still on.
Oh!
Do I roll stealth?
You have
You've
never
already
been this...
found out where
Already
you
gone.
are.
31!
What?
She rolled a natural 20!
Nice.
And he's got Pass Without a Trace on.
I've literally never ever will ever be this
Dottie.
stealthy again.
Dottie, I'm afraid you fade from existence to not there to be there anymore. Not really, but there you go.
I'm in the sunken place.
You enter the Upside Down.
Oh
Right.
no.
24 for
24.
mine.
It doesn't matter, there's nothing here.
All right.
You all head upstairs and see the same thing I just described to Ginseng. Can those of you who are slightly more interested in this than Ginseng and have a slightly higher wisdom score roll insight checks, please?
I'm actually quite wise. Who knew?
16.
16,
Inside. 13.
13.
Non-natural 20.
Non-natural 20. Lovely. I'll let you all get to this. There are notes lying around. It appears that Alf left copious notes while he was experimenting on all of these things, and the tone that comes from them is that these are exciting and interesting prospects. That this might be a way to fight the cult on their own terms.
I've seen all the bodies, haven't I?
You have. You also find that alongside the humanoids, he has been experimenting on cats,
Oh God!
dogs,
No!
and that's where some of the more bestial, low-level Gru that you've encountered seem to have come from. So you're starting to piece together a hierarchy of how these creatures are formed by the cult, and then how Alpha's managed to discover this process in return. His notes do become more erratic over time. The writing becomes more zany as it goes across a page. He mumbles on about the blood of the Elder God and talks about trying to return to the source.
That's never good.
No, and about trying to return to the source.
I should probably do a Constitution saving throw, as
Please
I am
do.
very traumatised. At 17, I'm apparently fine.
There we go.
The mind has hardened me to such hardship.
What would you like to do?
Cry.
You're welcome to cry.
And as far as we can see, there is no sign of Alf around. Just
No, his notes are there, and again, the notes talk about the blood of the Elder God and returning to the source, but beyond that, you
Okay.
don't know.
Thatchy is going to gather all the notes, and they are going to kind of usher everyone to go back out the front and present it to everyone who was waiting to put more ore into this building.
Okay. You return to the front and unlock the door. Anyone like to do anything else before we dive into that moment, Jim?
Not that I can think of.
As a druid,
Yes.
I would quite like to do some, I don't know, there must be druid rituals to try and inter the bodies, so return them to the natural balance.
Okay. Can you roll me an Arcana check? That's the best way to do that.
Natural 20.
Yay!
Kneeling over these various bodies and going from one to the other, you slowly, it takes time, try to draw the corruption from them. Even with a natural 20, you can't. This is not something that someone of your ability is going to be able to deal with in that way. What you can do is get the bodies to stop clinging to life in the way they appear to be.
Yeah, release the spirits.
Release the spirits, absolutely, that's fine.
It's very dark.
Describe how you would release the spirits of these creatures.
So I take my pouch of plant matter, and I will lay some moss on each of the bodies. And through druidic cantations and veins bulging green, the moss seeps into them, and they turn green and start to almost accelerate to decompose, but in like a, not from disgusting, more like straight to dirt.
Okay. I will allow that. That'll be fine. Also means you have very few bodies to show people what happened here, but it's up to you how many you do. Do you leave one or two to like point out?
I'm doing the upstairs, and I'm staying upstairs while they have their intercount.
I see. Okay. That's very generous of you.
I have thought of a thing to do.
Okay.
Would I know how dangerous this ore is?
Yes.
Done. Alright. Okay. Still gonna do it anyway. Gonna put some in my pocket.
Okay. You have ore in your pocket. That is fine.
Can I see if I'm putting ore in his pocket?
Roll perception checks. Are you trying to be stealthy about this?
Not at all.
Oh, right.
I got 17.
You notice.
18.
You notice.
Back, young man! Thank you.
I keep an eye on him as we go downstairs.
Cool. As you head out the front of the town hall, having discovered the horrors within, and also being reminded yet again that this ore is bad, very bad, and you might need to be careful with what happens next. That's where we're going to end this hour of Adventurous Monty. Thank you ever so much for joining us.
But me tavern!
So,
I didn't get to check on Tristram.
all right, fine. I'll give you a minute. Do you want to check on Tristram?
Yes, I want to go back to my tavern and make sure that he closed up properly.
Yeah, you did really well.
Yay!
You've trained him well.
That's why he's lead orphan.
Official title. Lovely. Thank you ever so much for joining us for this hour of Adventurers Wanted. We are playing for 2 more hours today, and then from 10:30 till 2:30 for the rest of the Fringe. There are 100 hours of story in total. We are not even halfway, so lots more to uncover. Please do spread the word about the show on Twitter, Facebook, face-to-face with actual human beings, if that's of interest. We're on Twitter at Adventurers250, where Nemo in the back has been live tweeting the entire show for the past hour, so you can catch up on what's been going on. And everywhere else online, we're Adventurers Wanted. If you'd like to see more, you can always buy more tickets. They're out by the Sweet Box Office out there at the Ed Fringe website or the Sweet Venues website. Or you can buy a ticket to come and play from the Sweet Box Office. Callum bought a ticket to play, as did Jamie, and they have bought tickets to play today. You can do that too. We would love to have you at our table. We're aware that sometimes the stereotypical D&D look is on display right here, right now. I understand that I sometimes present that way. But obviously want to introduce as many different kinds of people as possible to the game, and do as part of our regular activities in London, Brighton and Edinburgh. So if you're umming and ahhing and not quite sure if this is for you, just join us. We're very kind, very gentle, and we'll slowly ease you in a very fair way. If you really like what we do and want more people to do what we do, we have a Patreon where you can patronise us. Yay! There are rewards starting at a £5, and we would love to do what we do in more places, but we need your support to do so. We are also live streaming the entire game at twitch.tv. Hello, Twitch stream. That's a webcam. Hello. If you have watched it live on Twitch, thank you ever so much for joining us there. There is a donate button on our website. You saw the show for free. Please drop a quid in. Thank you. Really appreciate it if you could help us in that way. But before we're done, I want to give all of our players a chance to plug either stuff they've seen or stuff they do at the festival, because this is not the only show.
Okay. So I'm up here with a group called To Be Frank Poetry. We have an open mic and live show later on today and tomorrow from 8 until 10 p.m. at the Lighthouse, Edinburgh's Radical Bookshop, which is opposite the Pear Tree.
Yeah.
We have 6 open mic slots, which are 5 minutes each. So if you are a performery type and want to come and perform at the Fringe,
Callum, they're both poets, man.
fantastic. So please do come up. We'd absolutely love to have you.
Splendid.
Come do that. It'd be great.
Talk about your poetry now, Beth.
Well, I'm not doing any poetry this Fringe. Thank you.
She got out.
But I am a Edinburgh resident, along with Catherine, for the other 11 months of the year where the Fringe is not happening. So always got to give a shout out to my Scottish performers. So I'm going to give a wee shout out to our good pal Gareth Much, who is doing his first full Fringe run at the Rose Theatre, which I think it's Gareth Much Wants Much More, at 8:30 every day at the Rose Theatre.
Awesome. My name's Catherine. I also do. I'm also a writer, and I do performance poetry. If that's the kind of thing that you're into, just promise it's not shit. You can find me on Facebook at Catherine Wilson Poetry. I'm really close to 400 or 500 likes. One of those numbers. So if you want to make me very happy, go give it a like. And again, I promise it's not shit.
You know, by saying it's not shit, people are going to associate it with the word. Never mind.
Anyway.
I promise it's not shit. Like, it sounds shit, but I promise it's not.
Okay. Jamie, fire away.
So some of my friends are putting on Dolls of New Albion.
Thank you.
At the Sweet Venue in Grassmarket, which is the Apex Hotel, and it is the last night of the show tonight. It's been getting great reviews, and it is on at 5:20. And lastly, if you have some spare time afterwards, there is a blood donor centre down the road. At the moment, we are facing a national shortage, so if anyone can give, that would be great.
Splendid, thank you very much. I'm going to add one final note to it because I'm pitching this today. The Edinburgh Book Festival also opens relatively soon, and Rose McGowan is giving a talk on Monday about her book Brave, about the issues she has had recently with the film industry, and it's a topic we should all, in the entertainment industry, know more about and get more involved with, so do pop down and see her if you can. I think it's probably sold quite well, but just in case. Anyway, that's enough from us. Thank you ever so much for joining us. Please go and refresh your tickets if you'd like to join us for the next 2 hours. Otherwise, we will see you again soon. Cheers.